Actually, I'm not. But I remember really well how it felt 5 years ago and what kind of questions started to pop up in my head, like, am I ready to be a parent? What kind of parent do I want to be? Hi, my name is Kate and welcome to our channel where we share practical and science-based information on parenting. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about my parenting style, which I chose. And it could be called conscious parenting, gentle parenting, intentional parenting, but it's basically based on attachment theory. And I'm going to cover pros and cons of this parenting style. So watch this video till the end because I'm going to talk about things that rarely openly discussed amongst the parents. So let's start. I will say 2 words about attachment theory, which is the foundation of this parenting style. In a nutshell, we talk about the importance of the relationships between a child and a primary caregiver. And if during these relationships a secure attachment bond is built, it affects in a positive way the whole life and the mental health of a child, the learning abilities, the brain development, resilience, etc., etc. And also it affects the way we build our relationships further in adulthood. But attachment could be also insecure. And if you want to find out more about this theory, check out the interview that we have with David Elliott. He is a US-based psychologist and he talks in details how the attachment is built in babies. So check it out. And I also will leave a couple of links in the descriptions to the key researchers in this area. So I will start with the cons. And all the cons that I'm going to talk about, they mostly connected to the idea that in this approach, we do not shut the emotions of a child. So we let the child to express his or her emotions, whatever they are, anger, sadness, frustration, happiness, and we help the child to process these emotions in a specific way. So the first cons that I have is that it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of emotional effort, especially when nobody has been doing this for you in your childhood. Let's imagine if my parents would never let me to be angry or be frustrated. I actually feel quite mad when I see my child being angry, so I want to shut him down. And it actually doesn't allow him to build these emotional capabilities and emotional intelligence. It just shuts down the emotions, and then it has a lot of negative effects that many of us probably know in the adulthood. The second point, sort of connected to the first one, it takes time for the transitions for the child to go from one activity to another. So for example, there is no fast solution. So for example, you want to leave the playground and go home for lunch, and your child doesn't want to leave and he or she wants to play. And in many cases, parents would probably yell a little bit or say something like, I will leave you and I go now. So the child is actually getting scared and he wants to follow you. So in the attachment theory approach, you wouldn't do this because the bond that you have, this is what really important, and you want to treasure this bond, and you want this bond to be strong and your child to trust you. And in this case, you will need some time to work with this resistance and process again the emotions and the frustration and anger, whatever it's going to be, of your child before you go to lunch. And it just takes time. Sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it could be 15 minutes, it all depends, but it just takes time. The third point is social discomfort. Because I don't shut down the emotions of my child, it could create some discomfort in social situations, like he could become angry in a public place, or he might say something, don't touch this, this is mine, for example, to a grandpa. Or he could say, don't say to me, I don't like these words, to the adult person. And in many cases, I feel that adults did not get used to the case that a 4-year child or 5-year child can say something to them like this. And it creates some social discomfort, and I feel a little bit of judgment from sometimes even my extended families. I don't think they completely get my style. Those are quite big challenges for me personally, because first of all, you have to work with this each day, like with the emotions of the child. And also the biggest challenge is that you have to break the cycle the way that you have been parented. It really takes a lot of energy and effort to act differently in the situations when nobody did this for you. So you have to be aware that this is a constant, conscious effort that you need to make if you want to take on board this parenting style based on attachment theory. So what are the benefits, let's say, because the minuses, they sound quite massive. So the benefits for me, the first one is that because I understand the way the child brain develops, the way how does the emotional intelligence builds, I do not perceive my child as a bad child when he misbehaves. So I sort of separate the behavior from him as a person. And it helps a lot because I sort of switch my mentality from, you're a bad, nasty boy, to he needs my help to get regulated and he needs more connection. So he needs a time in instead of time out. It really helps a lot. So I think this is a huge and massive benefit. The second one, I believe it helps me to yell less at my child. Because we treasure the bond that we have and we have some level of respect towards each other, I wouldn't I wouldn't randomly come to him and say, hey, stop doing this, stop watching the cartoon, we need to go for a walk. I would always come, and because I want to connect and I want him to genuinely follow my request, not just do something because I said so. So I would come close to him and say, always connect first, like, what do you watch? Tell me more, like, what this cartoon is about. And then after we sort of build this connection, then I will say, okay, it's time to finish the cartoon and we will go for a walk. And that works really wonders. And if you want to know more about these ways how you can make transitions based on the attachment theory, I highly recommend to check out the video from Dasha, my co-partner in this channel, where she explains in the details with a lot of examples how you can do this. The next one is about emotional intelligence. So I really see the progress and how my child develops his conscious understanding about what kind of emotions he feels. So for example, he could say to me without me saying something, Mom, I hit you because I got angry because you didn't let me to watch this cartoon till the end. And he is 4 right now, and he already understands the emotions that he feels, also due to the fact that in many cases when he has a big feeling, I always, after comforting him, I name the emotions that he felt and how they affect his actions. So he already knows this chain of the events which is happening, and with time, when he will get older and older, he will learn how to control, and the executive function will develop. He will learn how to control the behavior and how to replace it with something that looks more appropriate in the society. So that's my cons and pros. I wouldn't say that I got it right all the time. It is not true. I target to probably get it right at best 70% of the cases, and I yell sometimes, I get tired sometimes, I just don't have enough patience sometimes, and I try not to judge myself for this too much and do not blame myself for this, because I think parenting never supposed to be perfect, and it's okay. We need some level of imperfect parenting. It is just healthy. I hope this video was useful. If so, please like it, comment, and let us know what is your parenting style and what are the pros and cons that you find in it. And see you in the next video.